need to just go back to. We need to go back. Welcome back. This is Adolph Mongo, Detroit in Black and White. We're here at McShane, Michigan, in Trumbo with Allan Lengel from Deadline Detroit. How you doing, Allan?
All right.
Vanessa Moss, attorney Vanessa Moss. She's running for 36th District Court Judge. How you doing, Vanessa?
Good morning, everybody. Those that are watching Detroit in Black and White. This is what we want you to do this morning. One, we want you to like. We want you to subscribe. We want you to hit that like button and subscribe. Tell your friends about it. We're on all platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. We also have a webpage, DetroitinBlackandWhite.com. You can catch all of our episodes. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends about it. You can also come down and join us.
Are we on it? Are we on Telegram?
We're on the corner of Trumbo and Michigan Avenue at McShane's. Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Bob, for allowing us to film here every week. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, and our contributor from time to time.
Call me the stuff starter. I'm not going to use that other word.
He is the starter.
God.
Eric Brown, how you doing, Eric?
Good morning, Pete.
Why are you here?
Good morning, Pete.
Well, because he got something to talk about.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
Because God woke me up this morning and led me to this destination.
I didn't wake you.
Praise the Lord.
I didn't wake you.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, my God.
Don't thank me. Okay. But anyway, before we start, we start off with a somber note. Man, I was reading the paper the other day, and it says Max Hardy, chef, dead at 40. We had him on the show. You know what? And you know, people say, "Oh, they were a nice person. We liked them." You know, when people pass away, but that guy was a real nice guy. His food was great.
He was a mensch.
And you know what? We had him on. I'm gonna tell you that we had first started going from radio to the podcast, and he was one of our first guests. And we got. Oh man, we got a lot of traffic.
No, he made us some food and he made us some punch. That
made us some shrimp and grits.
Yeah.
We had to carry Lengel out of there.
Right, that punch with
but you know, one of his friends down at Cutters in the Eastern Market said he came to Cutters. He always patronize other people's establishments. He used to come to Cutters all the time. And he said, "Oh, I'm going over to this restaurant in Midtown. I go there every week to have meatloaf." He said, "Because they got the best meatloaf in town."
Wow. What an endorsement.
Yeah. And they said he went over there. He was with his godfather, and he just collapsed.
Oh, wow.
And passed away.
Wow.
Man, and that listen, when they say the good die young, that's partly true. You know, some people like 40 years old, he hasn't lived yet.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. You know, when my father died of a heart attack at 43. So, I mean, that's very young. Very young.
Yeah.
And you think of it. Don't we have a clip?
We do. Do you want to?
Yeah, why don't we play the clip?
All right.
So I'm Max Hardy, known as Chef Max, I guess. Personal chef and restaurateur, author, philanthropist, and so born and raised in Detroit. I left when I was 13, moved to Tampa, and mom moved to Tampa from Detroit, and so I went down there in high school down there. Played basketball, thought I'd make it to the NBA like any other inner city kid.
Oh, no.
Realized that wasn't going to be it, so I better, change the focus a little bit. So I started cooking in high school, and
why cooking?
Well, I got hurt my junior year, and I broke my collarbone. So during that time, I couldn't play, and so I took up, home ec, and then home ec changed to culinary arts. We had a chef come in and just became this world-class culinary program in high school.
Okay.
Got a scholarship to go to Johnson & Wales to play basketball and cook. So moved down to Miami and did that.
You went to the campus in Miami.
Yeah,
huh?
Miami campus. Yep. And again, just I was realized basketball wasn't going to be the out, so I better get it together. So started honing my skills, working in different restaurants and hotels in Miami. Was executive chef of Hard Rock Casino for a while. Opened up Aventura Country Club.
Wow.
Yeah. So then
Impressive.
Yeah. And then I got fired from an Aventura Country Club. They told me to wear a chef token. I was like, I'm not wearing a chef token. I'm too tall, right? And so I would walk to the kitchen and it would knock off. So they fired me for that. And so I started Chef Max Miami.
Yeah, man. He was just the food was delicious. He had this little Caribbean kitchen over at the food hall in Midtown. I used to see him all the time. I didn't know who he was at Cutter's. That used to be one of my favorite spots.
That's still one of your favorite spots.
Not like I used to go there.
No, because you come over here.
McShane. Thanks, Shane.
Because don't they have a drink named after you over at Cutter's?
No, I hope
Mongo
not.
Punch.
The Mongo.
Yeah, don't play.
Give me the
I'm
Mongo.
playing. But anyway, I used to talk to him, and didn't know he was a chef. I was watching the Food Channel, and this guy won. They said from Detroit. I looked at that. I said,
Was it on Chopped? Or
he was on something.
yeah,
It's like,
Chopped.
and then I gotta go to Cutter's all the time. And then when next time I saw him, I said, man, why you didn't tell me you were famous? He said, I'm not famous.
Yeah.
He said, I'm just trying to, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And he had some hell of a stories about how, people got some weird tastes.
Right. He was talking about the Prince of Dubai,
Right.
who wanted a party in Miami and wanted sushi, but he wanted sushi served on a naked woman.
Right.
So he had to hire a woman. I think she was laying out there for 3 hours with sushi on her body, and
they ate off her butt.
Yeah. So, So and then he talked about it. I think it was the NBA game in LA. He was in New York, and they called and said, "Hey, we want you to come after the game and make chicken and waffles for us." And he flew and they made.
Well, the guy was good. His services is next week on Saturday, when our show come on at Triumph, Reverend Solomon Kenlock. Here it is.
Yeah.
We just want to salute him.
Right.
Max
We have
Harden.
it's Friday. I think the wake is from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Triumph Church on East Grand Boulevard, and then Saturday, family hours at 10 a.m. and then the funeral's at 11 a.m. and again at the Triumph Church. So
Okay. Well,
so if you are interested.
you know what? He will be missed. Life goes on, and we all gonna follow that path one day.
Right. It's just a little too soon at 40. It's like the long running room for him to do it. I mean, the thing was, not only was he a great guy, but he was also such a contributor to the city, and he was about to open up a restaurant on Livernois. He was trying to open it up before the NFL draft. It was a seafood restaurant, and he was supposed to open it up, and they were still doing some work inside there. So tragic.
Ain't no question.
I want to do a shout out. Karen Winston, she said good morning and she shared the page. Thank you, Karen, and thank you to whoever else that's looking, watching. You haven't liked and subscribed and shared. We need you to do that, please. Please, ma'am, please, sir.
Okay, we're gonna go to Eric. I guess you want to talk about what's coming up on Sunday, Eric.
Yeah, well, I wanted to also talk about last Sunday. There was a parent town hall to address the literacy crisis in not just the city of Detroit, but just urban communities in general. And it was a decent turnout. Could have been better. The weather probably played a role, but still, there should not be any excuses to come up with something so important. But then tomorrow, the Washtenaw County Literacy Coalition, which I'm a part of, we're having an event, starts at 1 o'clock at Washtenaw Community College. And the film, The Right to Read, will be shown at about maybe 2:15. And after the film, I'll be doing a commentary about the literacy crisis, as well as a commentary about the film.
What percentage of the population is illiterate?
About 99%. No, real talk. Unfortunately, 2 weeks ago, after I had posted something about literacy, I did a comparison of Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, and Ohio. And what's so unfortunate is that urban communities are sad, but every suburban community that has a decent amount of Black kids in their school district, they're at the bottom of the total poll in every suburban community.
Can I tell you this? Nah, I'm gonna say this, and you're right on that end. But as I talk to folks that's in higher ed, it's not just a Black problem. It's a white problem. It's a rural problem.
Absolutely.
It's a problem with this generation of students that can't write a sentence, can't write a letter. They don't even, man, it just, right. There's no question about it. The internet took over. So my only problem with when you come here and talk about it, I agree with you 90% of what you say. But the other 10% is, I don't throw it all on one group. Let's throw it on the American system of how they educate.
Oh, no doubt about it. It's an American problem. But my issue as a Black person, we're at the bottom of the total poll in every single category, no matter where you go. Now, one thing I will give the Chinese credit for, Chinese don't even teach, and they're still so far ahead of us, all Americans. They don't even teach reading till the age of 7. They teach them life skills up to the age of 6.
But then they have a high suicide rate.
In
You
China?
know what? China, Japan, you know what? Because they push their kids.
They definitely
They push their kids. Now they come over there in India. Who wins all the spelling bees? Because they put a book in their hand. They put a dictionary in their hand, like we put a basketball or a football in somebody else.
In our community, it used to be a book. We used to get a book placed in our hand. I remember going to the grocery store, and I've said this before. I go to the grocery store with my mom. She will always warn me, don't ask for you know what. Don't go in here, ask me for nothing.
Yeah.
When we get to the counter, now they have snacks, M&Ms, Kit Kats, or whatever.
Right.
Back then, they had books.
Yeah, books and magazines.
And if I behave,
on the end caps, as they call it.
If I behave, she would say, now you can get something. And I was able to buy a book. When I was pregnant with my children, I read to my children while they were in my stomach.
Can they read now?
I was going to say something, but I'm not. Yes, they can read now. But the point of the matter is, the point of the matter is, we all used to read. I mean, it wasn't just our community. I mean, that's how it was. Now, and we used to promote reading. Like I said,
you get your library card.
They would have exactly.
You get your library.
It's in the bookmobile.
They had the bookmobile, but when we go to the store now with our kids, you go up there and all you see is M&Ms, Kit Kats, and whatever other nonsense.
I stole a book from the bookmobile, got
You're a
caught.
thief.
Yeah, I got caught selling the
Let me
book.
ask you,
They gave me the book.
I'm curious in terms of when we talk about illiteracy. I mean, some kids are dyslexic and they're not diagnosed in time and stuff like that. But we probably see a lot of dropout from kids who feel failed in the system and whatever. As soon as they can drop out, they drop out, and that doesn't lead to a good
outcome. And that's part of it. And there's a bill going through the state house right now with regards to addressing the dyslexia problem, because as you stated, Allan, that's one of the most overlooked issues. And until you get a complete understanding, I tell people all the time, quit relying on these politicians to fix it, because they have done, the movie, the documentary, The Right to Read, it speaks to the fact the last 40 years of presidencies, each and every last one of these presidents dating back to Richard Nixon, talk about literacy. So how is this still a problem in our country, the so-called greatest country in the world?
And then you go to the
Well, it is
so-called
the
third.
best country in the world. It's the only country I know. That's the only country.
Because the only country you lived in.
I'm sorry.
But
That's the
you
greatest
go to
country.
these so-called third world countries, 99% of the people can read, write, because they education, they poor, they don't have
Right.
much.
Good point. Hold on, Allan.
Yeah.
Everybody go in on Cuba. Cuba has one of the highest literacy rates in the world.
Wow.
But there's no
I was
question.
just saying, Dr. Vitti from the
Before we
Go to a break.
before-
Yeah.
let's go to the
I'm
break.
gonna need time to comment on that.
But he
Okay.
was dyslexic. And
Yeah,
got
he
a-
is. Yeah,
He's
was.
still
He got a
dyslexic.
PhD.
He's still
Harvard.
dyslexic.
Read
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, you know, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasure.waynecounty.com and see if you qualify.
What's that site again?
www.treasure.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
Yeah, well, we
are-
had started. Okay, go ahead and we will.
Well, Allan had a-
I was going to say that Dr.
Order,
Vitti.
order.
This ain't no courtroom.
I'm running for judge, 36th District Court. But anyway,
Doc,
you were talking about Dr.
do we have
Vitti.
to invoice you for those campaign?
Well, I ain't lying.
Absolutely.
Go-
Look,
go-
I own some of this stuff here.
Here's
Okay.
Dr. Vitti's nephew.
Well, I was going to say that Dr. Vitti was dyslexic, did not do well in public school, and then he went on eventually to get a PhD, I think, from Harvard. Yeah. And so, I mean, there are a lot of, look, Sammy the Bull, from John Gotti's
Murder.
sidekick,
He went from,
he killed 19 people. He was dyslexic, and, people made fun of him. And I think a lot of those kids, particularly the tough kids who are dyslexic, they drop out, and, and
Yeah, they have to have another outlet.
But you know what? But you know what? All the bullies that was in my school growing up, they were always the ones in the special groups. You know what? My wife, who was an elementary school teacher, she hated those labels. Here's the yellow birds. They were the idiots.
Right.
The
Yellow
red
birds.
birds was they could barely read. Here come the bluebirds. So the
Right.
teacher say, bluebirds come. Here come the little kids. We beating our chest. Here come the yellow birds. Hey, wait a minute, the yellow birds. You know who the yellow birds were. You know who the yellow birds were. You know.
Put your hand in front of my face.
You remember the yellow birds? They would have no car.
Yeah.
They extorted you.
Yeah.
You know.
No, in the
Right, but to your-
beginning,
right.
after that.
But to your point, Allan, once someone is diagnosed as being dyslexic, that's when they get the help.
Well, why do
using Vitti as an example.
teachers call on the students know that they can't read? It's like an embarrassment, and then the kid lash out, say, "Go read a page." We used to have to read in front.
You have to
the
read in
class.
front of the class. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's self-esteem issues when you
Yeah.
when you're not literate. The world, I can't imagine not being able to read stuff if somebody says here.
Have you ever been over somebody's house? They didn't have a book, a magazine, or nothing.
Right.
I went to somebody's house one time. They had nothing. I'm like, how are you teaching your kids anything?
Did you
It's
say
like,
that? Did you ask them,
No,
or you
you
just
know,
thought
you
that?
don't say
How do you
that.
know that they have the books in the closet somewhere?
They-
Why they have to have
If they had the books in the
People
closet,
don't do
because
like
they
they
kids,
did when you was growing up.
Yes, they do.
Your family order all them encyclopedias and have them all
right? Yeah.
everywhere. People don't do that anymore. Plus, you guys already talked. Wait a minute, you already talked
That's
about.
why when you letting criminals out
use
every time you go to court, you put the criminal out on the street.
Okay, let's talk about that for a minute.
No, we ain't
No,
gonna talk about that.
I don't put criminals out on the
Yeah,
street.
you
What
win
I
your
do
case.
is I defend
You win
them,
your case.
Okay.
Yeah, you defend them.
defend them.
Okay.
Okay,
But
But
tomorrow, the event,
that's
yes,
my
it's
job.
Let him talk about tomorrow event, then we're gonna go and
Outrageous.
do our outrageous of the week.
it's a family literacy initiative kickoff campaign. 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at Washington Community College. It is being put on by the Literacy Coalition of Washington County, which I'm a part of, and we were just given a resolution by the Washington County commissioners this past Thursday.
That a big deal?
It's a big deal because people are paying attention to it. That's part of the problem. You know, the lack of attention is why things are as bad as they are.
Okay, good. And people need to go there.
Correct.
Okay, where is it located?
It's located at Washington Community College, Morris J. Lawrence Building, 4800 East Huron River Drive in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Okay, thank you very much. Now let's go to our outrage of the week. Let's go to the shit starter here, the resident shit starter, named Vanessa Moss, attorney Vanessa Moss.
So my outrage is, of course, I have shamelessly plugged myself running for judge, 36th
You're running
District
for
Court.
judge?
I'm running for judge in 36th District Court. But my outrage has to do with the apathy in the community. I went out Tuesday. I left court, went to the Secretary of State's office to get signatures. I walked into the office. I asked for permission to do so. They said, yes, you can. You need to stand here. Now, when I walked into the office, there was maybe 3 people in there. There was a gentleman in front of me, and he's talking to the young lady, trying to get some, advice. And she tells him, well, we don't have any more appointments today. We don't have another appointment until Thursday. He said, I just want to do whatever it was that he wanted to do. She said it again. So he goes over to the machine. I go and ask her permission. I go outside. This guy is pissed off. He comes out. I asked him if he would sign my petition to get on the ballot. He tells me, I don't believe in that. I ain't doing that.
Huh.
But you pissed off about the fact that you can't get service at the Secretary of State's office. So I said, I had to do it. I know I should not have. I said, listen, you pissed off about the service that you didn't get at the Secretary of State office, and it's empty in there. I said, do you see that the person who has the Secretary of State's office, you have to vote for them, right? But because you don't believe in that, why are you standing here complaining, bro?
Right.
Why are you complaining? If you don't participate, you don't get to complain. I met so many people that day, and these were seasoned people. Oh, I don't believe in that. I don't get involved. I'm not signing anything. I had one other person. This young lady gets out the car. I said, can I talk to you when you finish conducting your business? I'll have time. She runs in. She leaves her mother in the vehicle. Beautiful vehicle. The mother is sitting there about half an hour. The mother says, come here for a minute. She beckons me to her vehicle. I go to her vehicle, and she says, I want to sign your petition. What is it for? I told her. She signed it. The daughter comes out pissed off because she couldn't get whatever she needed to get in Secretary of State's office, okay? Pissed. But that same young lady who was pissed, she said, you know what? I'm a sign it. I don't know what you're running for, but I'm a sign it. Because she's pissed. But the point that I'm making is we're going to have some problems this coming election season. There are so many people who say they don't believe in the system. They're not participating. And there's so many people that are not even registered voters.
We need to put up some
It's
billboards and say,
ridiculous.
I'm pissed, so I'm going to vote you out. So that's what you got to do.
Good luck with that.
They're not going to vote them out. But
No,
Eric always says, listen, if you don't participate, then you don't get to complain. Not only do you not get to complain, but these same people are pissed off. You don't even make demands.
Nope.
You don't even make demands. You don't even ask for accountability.
What
You don't do
what
any of
Frederick
that.
Douglass say, power. The only
that's
way to
my
gain power
outrage.
is without a demand, you don't get nothing.
You don't get it.
Go ahead.
my outrage is like just a message to the Republican Party in Washington, like get a backbone. I mean, Mitch McConnell is endorsing Trump. I mean, it's insane. I mean,
Trump dog his wife out.
yeah, I
dog
mean,
out
making
McConnell.
racist comments, denigrating. He's criticized him, and now because he wants to stay in the club. These guys can't let go of their job. It's like there's a choice.
What's wrong with that?
Dignity. It's like dignity or still have some power.
So
But
if I piss on you, sweetie, if I piss on you, you still gonna support. You still gonna support. I forgot.
I mean,
Trump like golden showers.
There's a limit, right. And the other thing is, like Chris Sununu, the governor of New Hampshire, who was Nikki Haley's national campaign manager, he is saying, and she was saying, the guy creates chaos. Trump would be horrible for the country. And now Chris Sununu, who's going to run, I guarantee you, in 2028, wants the backing of the RNC, says, I'm backing Trump.
But you know what, Allan? That shows you how far this country has failed. Because his daddy, John Sununu, was a right-wing, white supremacist, all kind of whatever. And now he looking like a human being because this guy Trump makes everybody look normal.
Right, but to Vanessa's point, though, I mean, people need to understand a lot of these people are not supporting number 45. They're supporting the party. They're Republicans.
They supporting a guy that's a party boss. He's boss hog. He's
but that's the person that they feel will win the election.
They hope he don't win the election.
No, I say feel
because if he wins the election, they know that he's like Hitler sending brown shirts to your house. But
it's no different than people supporting the old guy. I mean, they're complaining about it, but it's
I'd rather have the old guy.
Because he's a Democrat.
No, because he at least have a mind on it. Grandpa.
I want to say a quick little story, just a little bit of a non-segue or segue. When you talk about brown shirts, I couldn't join. My parents would let me join the Cub Scouts, and I could never figure it out.
They had the brown
shirts. Until I got older, my parents being Holocaust survivors.
Right.
They didn't. My sister later told me,
Mom
like and Dad didn't want you wearing the brown shirts in those uniforms.
But that's a good story. You go ahead with your.
My outrage is this, similar to what Vanessa was talking about, but I get less than a damn about a 22-year-old athlete impregnating a 39-year-old woman. For Black people to spend so much time on social media talking about that bullshit. Jalen Green, and I can't remember the lady name. He plays for the Houston Rockets.
Oh, you talking about Drea?
Drea. I said, come on, we got more problems in the damn Black community for people to be spending so much time talking about that bullshit. I get less than a damn about that. And that's why our community is the way it is at times. We major in so many minors that we can never move forward if you're talking about shit like that.
So you watch the Bravo station. You talk about horse shit. I mean, oh my God, it's like these people just cannibalizing each other.
So you get, like I said, I can post about literacy and get no responses, but there were well over 500 responses to this bullshit.
Well, my outrage, I'm gonna just tell you, the Black woman out of Alabama called the police. She's beefing with her neighbor, who happened to be a white woman.
Shot her neighbor?
No, she didn't shoot the neighbor. They just argued. She called the police saying that the woman threatened her, etc. The white cop came over, beat the shit out of the black woman, and arrested her. They got him all on tape. It's like all because he said, "Give me your ID." He didn't think she lived at the house. It was her house. Now, you're an attorney. Do you have to show your identification if the cop asks for it?
Well, you're supposed to follow the reasonable commands, but I mean, people say that I'm rebellious. If I don't want to talk to you, I'm not talking to you. And if I don't want to cooperate, why are you talking to me?
Well,
why are you approaching me? But she knew why he was approaching her. Whose house was she in?
Her house.
She was in her own house.
Her own house.
And she's beefing with her neighbor.
Right. She the one that called the police.
The neighbor, the woman who lived, the black woman called the police.
She called the police.
Girl. Are you kidding?
Not
You
kidding.
called the police and the police came and beat your behind.
Beat you behind, arrested her. And that's my outrage of the week. We're going to take a break. We got our guest, Joan Merriweather, that ran for sheriff of Wayne County. She got a interesting story, a hell of a story. And let's take
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, you know, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasure.waynecounty.com to see if you qualify.
What's that site again?
www.treasure.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
Okay, we are back here. You want to do the
Well,
introduction?
I just want to say that it is Women History Month. And so all month we're going to have women as guests on our show. So you can go ahead and do the introduction.
All right, so we have, as we have here, sheriff's candidate Joan Merriweather. She ran last year that you ran?
Last year.
Last year. Now, tell us a little bit. You were a police officer in Detroit. Tell us a little bit about your background. And you're running for sheriff again. So,
Correct.
but your background is what?
Okay, I started out Detroit Police Department. There, I developed a community policing program that they use today.
Uh-huh.
So,
What's the name of that program?
community policing.
Okay,
Police.
community.
Yeah.
And how long were you
Okay.
with DPD?
Detroit, I retired 18 years with DPD.
Okay.
And I became the first female helicopter pilot for Detroit.
Oh, wow.
The first Black female in law enforcement pilot for the whole country.
Wow.
So,
Can you still fly a helicopter?
oh yeah, give me the keys, I
Oh,
fly.
really?
Oh yes, I love
Yeah.
it.
And so then after that, what did you go to the sheriff's department?
So after I retired, I was gonna take a break, but couldn't sit down. So I decided to go to Wayne County Sheriff's.
Okay.
So I started working there, went in, police officer, worked the jail, worked Frank Murphy, and saw a lot of the problems that were going on. I became a supervisor and I was able to do some stuff, but as a sheriff, you could do a lot more.
Right.
And it's so many problems right now.
So you want to displace the current sheriff and tell us why he should be out, and then let's just start with that, and then tell us why you should be in.
Okay. You know, we're the largest county in Michigan,
Right.
and many people don't even know what the sheriff does. You don't see the sheriffs out there on the street. And we have 43 cities we're supposed to assist. If anything major happens, we don't have the personnel to send them out to assist.
Now, is the sheriff's department contracting with some communities where they're actually the police force?
We have a road patrol,
Uh-huh.
and they supposed to go out there. We have, I believe, 60 positions right now, only 10 to fill right now.
Okay.
We don't have the personnel.
Okay. So you're running to be, and I think it's awesome. This is not your first time running.
Not my first time running.
So there's a shortage.
Yes.
What are you going to do in terms of, because the reality is at COVID and after COVID, there is a shortage of people wanting to work.
Correct.
People decided that they were going to become entrepreneurs. They just didn't want to do the work and the conditions. I understand from talking to deputies, in particular with the Wayne County Sheriff Department, the morale is like this. So, what is it that you are going to offer as the Wayne County Sheriff that will bring people in to work for that organization?
The first thing people have to realize, I went through it. I was in the position where I came in on the bottom.
What were you doing? What were you doing?
Working the jail.
Working the jail.
And I worked 16-hour shifts, 7 days a week. So all the officers know I've been there. I've done that. I woke up. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know if I was supposed to go to work. I had to call in and ask them, am I on the schedule?
And did you work in the men's and women's section of the jail, or just the women's? Or
Well, we have one floor in the jail for women, but it wasn't guaranteed if you're a female officer that you will work on the female floor.
Okay.
We did work on male floor.
You did. How tough was that? Was that tough?
I want her to finish answering the first question. I want her to finish answering the first question, which was we having a conversation.
Okay.
What are you going to do to bring people in to work for? I mean, there's a shortage. What are you going to do?
It's a shortage, and right now we did get the pay raise, so we can get people in. But you have to look at too to retain what we got. And working them 16-hour shifts 7 days a week, you're not going to keep them.
Right.
We have people with 10, 15, 20 years leaving, saying, I'm not taking that in. We have to retain those. Then we have to go out. And I mean, you should be tired of seeing a Wayne County Sheriff asking you if you want to come join the department. I also plan to hit the community colleges, high school. I want to start the Explorer program to keep the kids out of jail, so when they become of age, they can join the police department. We have to look at right now and in the future.
So let me ask you, you're running now. Do you have, I think I was trying to look for your presence online, your website, Facebook, Instagram. What are you doing about that?
I have a website up and running, Joan, 4 sheriff.com.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook, on Instagram, website. And I'm going after the people out here in the community and talking to them.
Okay. What are you telling people, and what are people asking you?
I'm telling them what they telling me they don't feel safe. Chief Weiss, he's doing an excellent job. We should be out there with him.
The Detroit Police Department,
yes,
for those who don't know.
Yes, Detroit Police. We should be out there in cars. I want to have cars driving down the street, have the community wave at you, oh, there they go. Most people don't even know what Wayne County Sheriff car look like. And if they see them, it's on the freeway, they're going to pick up prisoners.
Now, is it primarily, is the biggest focus on managing the jails, or do you feel like it needs to shift a little bit more to the roads? Or how do you see this?
Well, we have to run the jail. We have to do that. But it's more to it than just running the jail. And it's nothing wrong with going outside of Detroit. Hit the military bases. People getting out of the military, they may love to come and work. You have to look at all aspects. We have to get people in here.
So I'm going to pivot a bit because, you know, when people like yourself, myself running for office, people want to know about us, personally. Like, did you grow up in the city of Detroit? I see you went to Immaculate High School.
Yeah.
Where did you go to middle school? I was supposed to go to Immaculate.
Thankfully.
Oh, okay. All right. So tell our audience something about, how you grew up, where you grew up, where you went to school, those kind of things.
I'm a Detroiter, been here all my life. Grew up 7 Mile, Livernois area. And
Avenue of Fashion there.
yeah,
Back in the
oh
day.
yeah. And I love to fly. Oh, I had my mom take me to the airport so I could just look at the airplanes taking off and, you know,
Metro or City Airport?
Metro and the Air Force Base, Selfridge.
Oh wow.
So she got tired of that, but once I got grown up, so I used to drive out there and just sit there and watch it.
Okay, so you flew helicopters. Did you also fly planes?
I flew airplanes. When I
Moon
did,
Mullins, wasn't he the?
yeah, he was, yeah,
He was the head of the
aviation unit there, yeah. But I put myself through school and got my airplane license. And back then, women wasn't flying a whole lot, and especially Black women.
Right.
So I went to a Oakland Community College. I had one counselor tell me, well, you don't want to go into aviation. It's too hard. But you don't know about me. I'm pretty smart, but it's expensive. He would not sign me off to take my classes. I had to find another counselor to sign me off so I could just take it. Took my classes, made the dean's list.
wow.
And when I got my license from the FAA, I went back, made an appointment with that certain counselor.
He said, bam, look what I got.
Here you go, look at it. And he sat up there, he looked at it. I just took it out his hand, said thank you, and walked out.
Right.
So we ran the process. I sat on the waiting list for Detroit with a pilot's license for like 5 years. Before, when Benny Napoleon took office as chief, he transferred me over there his first day.
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah,
Benny was a good guy.
That's awesome.
yeah,
Let me ask you. You want to be the sheriff.
yeah.
What's wrong with this sheriff? Why shouldn't people say, it's tough displacing an incumbent. You had 40% of the vote last year with a very minimal amount
Right.
of money in your
Right.
treasury. But what for people who say, hey, he's the sheriff, Raphael Washington's good for me. What do you tell them?
We deserve a lot more. You know,
And what does
to
that mean?
walk out the streets, and I still live in Detroit.
Uh-huh.
And there's some areas I can carry my gun. I make sure I have my gun with me.
Right.
We should not have to live like this. We should be able to walk out our doors, feel safe, and then every 5 or 10 minutes see a scout car come by, see them walking in the neighborhood. Now, I have known him for a long time.
Raphael.
Raphael.
And did you work with him like as a co-worker?
You know, we were on Detroit together.
Right.
Then I left, and then Benny came to Wayne County, and he came with Benny Napoleon. And we need a woman's touch. We need somebody that truly care about the citizens of Detroit and not look at it as just a job. And that's where I come in.
And you think you could do a better job?
Oh, yeah, I know I can do a better job.
Absolutely. And to make it clear, it's not just the citizens of Detroit. You're running for Wayne County Sheriff.
Exactly.
So you want to make sure that everyone in Wayne County feels safe.
Correct.
When you talk about the jail, you're talking about the Wayne County jail. You're not
Correct.
talking about, a lockup or the DDC. You're talking about
Wayne County
So,
Jail.
And the reason I said that is because we want the audience to know that you're running for Wayne County Sheriff. You want to represent Wayne County.
All 43 cities in Wayne County. And we should be out there in all 43 cities doing patrol.
Right.
If they need help, if we had a major catastrophe, if we had a massive shooting, which is going to come, sooner or later, we're going to have to deal with some big.
We're going to take a break.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We're going to take a commercial break and we'll be back. We'll wrap it up with it. So.
Thanks, Charles, for letting me use your gardening supplies. I'll make sure I put it back in the garage. Man, tending to that lawn is a lot of work.
Tell you the truth, Jim, I'm more concerned about keeping this house.
What's going on?
Well, you know, Sarah lost her job 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Since we lost that income, the bills have been piling up, and we're so far behind. I don't want to lose the house because of back taxes. I don't know what to do.
I understand. The same thing happened to my sister and her husband when he lost his job. Do you know that the Wayne County Treasurer has plans and programs to help people stay in their homes?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Yeah, go to www.treasure.waynecounty.com to see if you qualify.
What's that site again?
www.treasure.waynecounty.com.
Got it.
All right, we are back. So I know somebody was asking you during the break if there were a plane crash. Is Wayne County prepared, the Sheriff's Department prepared to respond to something like that?
And right now, the answer is no.
And why?
We don't have the personnel to do it.
Wow.
We don't have it. The first thing I want to do, massive hiring. But I also want to bring the morale up so we can keep what we have. We're losing so many officers. And when we lose officers like that, we're losing the experience that we need.
That's interesting. So I'm processing this. If there was an accident at Metro
Airport.
Wayne County Sheriff's Office presently does not have the manpower to address it.
Correct.
That is absolutely
We will have to,
and scary.
we will have to depend on the other counties.
And
We will
state
have to
police.
state police. Yes.
That's
Yes.
I
scary.
would think state police would probably be the main responder. or
Yes,
something
they
like that.
will be. Yes.
Wow.
So when we talk about you want to do all these things, is it a money issue that we don't have it now, or is that something that you need to work on if you were to become sheriff, getting that budget?
Some of it is money, but most of it, the biggest problem is personnel. You're killing the officers. I mean, you can't expect them to keep working 16-hour shift.
Yeah.
You're ordering them to work. Because we have to maintain a certain number of people to run the jail.
Right.
We're having problems doing that right now. You have to bring up the morale. You have to put people in place where there's no, where you're getting ordered maybe once a month.
Right.
Or you can volunteer to work if you want. There's no reason.
How tough is that? I mean, it seems like when we talk about having a jail job, being, and you just call them deputies, that they're not
Deputies.
corrections officers.
No, we're not
They're not
correct.
corrections officers. But it seems like such a tough job. I mean, there's people, I assume, being disrespectful to
Some-
the inmate. Are the
sometimes.
inmates fairly respectful, or are they?
Most of the time, we don't
They
have
are.
a problem.
Okay.
By me being a sergeant, I did get to carry a taser.
Oh, really?
And most of the time, when you pull that taser out, I mean, they stop.
All right.
My job is to make sure no officers get hurt. But it's also my job to make sure an inmate don't get hurt. So to stop a fight or to stop any kind of problems is the best thing to do. I would go in there if an inmate refused to lock down. I say, lock down, and I come in and talk to you. You have to give them respect, because you have to remember, everybody locked up isn't guilty of a crime. So you need to treat them, everyone with respect. As a sergeant, I did that. My whole career, I did it.
And were there some people, obviously there's going to be some bullies who are inmates. And
Oh,
do
yeah.
Do they try to bully you, or?
You know, I had an inmate, he came at me, he broke the mop handle off, sharpened it up like a spear, and came at me. I gave him his respect for a second, but drop the weapon, no problem. He kept coming at me, so he got to taste my taser.
business.
And he dropped it at that point, and nobody got hurt.
So
Very persuasive.
right. I think it is awesome that you here is doing this history month. And you've made history and you're continuing to make history because you are running to be the sheriff of Wayne County. I think it's time for a woman. I think it is awesome. So kudos to you.
Thank you. And I wanted to say I would be the first female sheriff for Wayne County. I will also be the first Black female sheriff for the whole state of Michigan.
Do you have support of some of the deputies?
Yes,
the deputies love me, and I treat them the way I want to be treated.
And they are they unhappy with the leadership they currently
Yes,
have?
they are. They are unhappy. They calling off sick. They take FMLA so they can at least get a day off.
Wow. Okay.
But I just want to make sure everybody stays safe. We did have officer get killed in the jail, and I was at the hospital when he was brought in.
Wow.
And my husband did CPR on the guy, trying to save the officer, and he passed out. So I beat the ambulance to a Detroit receiving.
Right.
And I swear, I do not want that to ever happen again, but we don't want the inmate to die, get beaten up like a couple of them did. It's uncalled for, and under my administration, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it don't happen.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank
coming
you
on. We
so
wish you
much
the
for
best of luck.
having me. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan.
We'll see you out on the campaign trail
Oh, yeah.
there.
I will be out.
knocking doors
Before
and
you step
shaking
away, tell people how to get in contact with your campaign.
Okay. Go to Joan for Sheriff, Joan, the number 4, sheriff.com. You could volunteer, you could donate. We need some help there too. We need volunteers, and we'll work with
Is
you.
that joan4sheriff.com? Is that correct there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So joan4sheriff.com.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what, I guess anything can happen. If you got 40% and you had such a small budget.
We had no budget. We had no money. 3 months to run. 4 people on our campaign.
Okay.
And we almost took it. This time we're taking
You're
it.
taking it. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, thank you, John.
Thank you
know,
for
I
having
won't
me.
get on a helicopter with you. 'Cause but the helicopters, but you know what? You a pioneer. Black History Month, Women's History Month. You know what? I can't imagine what you went through to get certified, and and I know how the military and these police agencies are, how they used to deal with women, etc. We salute you.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, and good luck in your campaign.
Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
All right. Thanks
Thank
so much.
you.
Good luck. Good luck. So, all right.
Well, the final thought. This was a great Vanessa. You running the show.
Well, I thought we have we have 7 minutes. That's a long time.
Well, talk.
So, we didn't even
7
talk
minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes is a long time.
A 7-minute infomercial on why you should be
Right,
judged.
right.
No, we're not doing that.
Now, talk.
I should be judged because I'm Vanessa Moss.
Because you're judgy.
When I came in here, we were talking about, did you guys watch the State of the Union address?
Grandpa was good.
Okay, was it me? I'm just asking, was it me? I watched it last night. Why does it normally take people that long to make their entrance? I thought it was like 20
You have to
minutes.
change his diaper. That's like late.
I think, look, it's a whole, he has to come. They drive him over there. It's a whole ceremonial thing.
They play the game. And listen, he's the president. He can do whatever.
I'm just saying it wasn't me, but
It was you.
thank you.
You are.
Thank you. But I also noticed, I said, oh, his skin looked very taut. Looks like he has some Botox.
I'm sure they're working on it.
But he not only he had some Botox. She looked at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She looked like she was shot up with some LSD or something.
No, but his message, I thought,
Was
as I
on
watched it,
point.
and I think that his problem is he has not done a good job in telling what his story and what his administration has done.
He did it.
And
He
what
did it. He did it.
last night,
But he need to. But he need to keep going and continue.
You know what? I remember the day of the election of 2016. Donald Trump Jr. was on like the Today Show or something, and he said, never underestimate. I never underestimate my father," he said. And I think the same could be said for Joe Biden. I think people were like, is he going to make it? Is it, you're watching every step. Is he going to make it to the podium? And it's like, yeah, he made it to the podium. And then he got up there and he was like,
it was like Muhammad Ali. Remember when he went in Atlanta with the torch, and Joe Frazier said, "I'm praying that he falls." Because you know what? Because people didn't think Ali with Parkinson's and whatever else he had, but he got that last ounce of whatever he got, and he went up there.
He came through. I mean, we're underestimating him, but I mean, if you really look at his record, if that record was attached to a younger person, there'd be no question about this election.
And if Coleman Young Jr. would have been looking another way, he would have been the mayor. And ain't no question.
Another way.
Because he wanted an avatar. Whatever that. You know what I'm talking about.
He bring him in too.
Because they didn't like how Coleman looked. But Coleman had a real agenda. But it's the same thing with Grandpa. Yes, it is.
And listen to you. You call him Grandpa.
He is Grandpa.
With that narrative.
Well, Grandpa, I love a good grandpa. I'd rather have a great grandpa than have one that's in the loony bin. Ain't no question. Listen, Donald Trump is a racist, is a pig, is crazy, is everything.
Okay,
and he might win.
Well, the danger is that we have a lot of third-party candidates. We have JFK Jr., who could take away
He's
just
insane,
enough.
man.
He's insane.
He's insane.
But he could just take away enough, like Ralph Nader did in
He's
2000,
a dope addict. He's
like,
a heroin junkie.
The Green Party did.
You can't keep saying
He is. Wait, he OD'd on the plane. He OD'd on the plane on heroin.
Okay.
Nah, that's true. He OD'd. Robert Kennedy OD'd on the plane on heroin. He got high on the plane. And now he goes on the plane, takes his shoes and socks off, his feet stink, and and he running for president.
Right. And the good thing is, his wife Cheryl Hines is on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Larry David told her, "I'm not supporting your husband." And she's like, "All right, I get it." I mean, the guy's crazy, but we had in
Cornel West, he need to write a check to Little West because he ain't paying his child support.
So in 2000,
Jill Stein, I'm losing my mind. I told all these people.
I cannot with him. Listen, you asked me for my final thought. It is 10:58. My final thought is this. Election season has heated up. Okay, it is real. It is upon us. If you want to complain, then you need to participate. If you're going to complain, then you need to keep your mouth shut. Period. Those are my final thoughts. Oh, no, that's not my final thoughts. Vanessa Moss, 36th District Court Judge.
I'm running against you. Allan.
I'm running for a seat. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for a seat.
Go ahead, Allan.
what kind of campaign are you doing?
Nothing. She getting free. We gonna charge her after.
Right. This is your campaign, right?
We gonna charge.
Actually, right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting
signatures,
petitions, signatures, and I want to get over the amount that is
How many
needed.
do you need?
I need 2,000, and I
We're
want to
gonna
get
get 4,000
4,000 signatures
To make sure
that it's okay.
you didn't get Chief Craig's
Right.
signature person.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So that's what I'm doing now. Once that happens, then you're going to see a whole lot of
Quickly out.
All right, not to be such a homer, but I'm looking forward to the NFL draft and just the excitement of bringing crowds into Detroit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
They clean it up, clean it up before company comes.
Okay.
But they don't treat us that nicely when the company's not.
You'll find it out. Go ahead.
My thought is get out, like she said, get out and vote. Make sure you vote. And while you voting, just check my name, fill in that name, Joan Merriweather for Cheryl.
Okay. And I want to thank Joan. I want to thank Eric Brown, Jim Nardoni, Teresa.
Hey, we trying to get her to come on the other side. It's
Doug,
always a great
Doug.
woman on the other side.
Hey,
Done.
anyway, we'll be here next week. They having what is it, parade? Tomorrow?
Oh, is
Tomorrow.
it
St. Patty's Day
St.
Patty's.
Patty's Day parade?
Yeah.
Oh, people
Get
drink
drunk
green
and crazy.
beer.
Yeah.
Green beer, green cabbage, and all that
So
other
that's
shit.
tomorrow. What time does that start?
You gonna dress up as a leprechaun now?
What time does the parade start?
You know they're gonna be out there at 6 o'clock in the morning getting drunk and shit. They're gonna have a hard time. Thank you very much, and to all our viewers and listeners and stuff. We'll be back next week here at McShane's, Michigan and Trumbo. Hey, have a good weekend.
Like